Welcome to English Podcast Academy, where we make learning English easy and fun. Hello, my lovely students. I'm Olivia, and today I want to share something very personal with you. How I improved my English in just 30 days without a teacher. I know it might sound surprising, but trust me, it's absolutely possible. You don't need a private tutor, you don't need expensive classes, and you definitely don't need to move to an English-speaking country. What you do need is a plan, a few simple daily habits, and most importantly, the right mindset. So how did I do it? I started by changing the way I looked at English. Instead of thinking of it as a boring subject from school, I treated it like a new adventure. Every morning, I listened to short English podcasts while brushing my teeth. That might sound silly, but even 5 minutes a day helped my ears get used to the sounds of the language. I also picked one new word each day and used it in a sentence 3 times. For example, one day I learned the word curious, and I said things like, "I'm curious about this book," or "My cat is very curious." In the evenings, I watched short YouTube videos with English subtitles. I didn't worry about understanding every single word. I just focused on the general meaning. Sometimes I'd repeat the sentences out loud, trying to copy the speaker's voice and rhythm. This technique is called shadowing, and it really helped me sound more natural. And no, I didn't spend hours studying grammar rules. Instead, I used real-life English, things people actually say. For instance, instead of memorizing the past tense of 20 verbs, I learned phrases like, "I woke up late," "I ate breakfast," or "I went to the store." These are the kinds of sentences we use every day. By the end of 30 days, I could understand more, speak with more confidence, and even think in English sometimes. The best part? I enjoyed the process. I didn't feel pressure, just progress. And you can do it too. Let me show you exactly how I built my routine, what materials I used, and how you can follow the same path, even if you're starting from zero. First, I listened to English every single day. Not for hours, just 10 to 15 minutes, and that was enough to make a real difference. But I didn't just let the audio play in the background. I listened with focus. That means I gave my full attention to the sounds, the rhythm, and the way the words were used. Sometimes I chose short YouTube videos made for beginners. Other times I listened to simple English podcasts or fairy tales spoken slowly and clearly. I made it part of my routine. While I was walking to the bus stop, I had my earphones in. While I was cleaning my room or making breakfast, English was always playing in the background. One morning, I remember listening to a short story about a boy who lost his dog. And even though the vocabulary was easy, I felt proud, because I understood the whole thing without needing to look anything up. The important part wasn't what I listened to, it was how often I did it. Every single day, without skipping. It became like brushing my teeth, just something I automatically did. And slowly, I started to notice small changes. My ears began to catch familiar words more easily. I didn't need to pause and translate in my head. For example, when I heard, "What are you doing?" I didn't have to think about the grammar. I just understood it instantly. This daily habit was like training my brain to speak a new language, little by little, without pressure. It felt natural. I wasn't studying. I was just listening. And over time, that simple action helped me build a strong foundation in English. Then I practiced speaking. Alone. Yes, I know it might sound strange at first, but trust me, it works. I didn't have a speaking partner or a teacher to talk to, so I became my own conversation buddy. I started by talking to myself during the day. For example, when I woke up, I would say out loud, "I'm getting out of bed," or "I'm brushing my teeth now." When I was cooking, I'd say things like, "I'm cutting the vegetables," or "I'm boiling water." It wasn't about being perfect. It was about using English in real situations. At first, it definitely felt a little silly. I remember standing in front of the mirror saying, "I'm wearing a white t-shirt," and thinking, "What am I doing?" But I kept going. I reminded myself that no one was listening, and that I was doing this for me. And slowly, something amazing happened. My brain started to switch into English mode. After just a few days, I found myself thinking in English without even planning to. I would see my cup of coffee and think, "It's hot," or hear a noise outside and think, "Who's that?" I didn't need to translate anymore. The words were just there. One day, I was walking home and realized I had spent 10 minutes describing everything around me in English. The sky is blue. That dog is barking. I feel a little tired. I smiled because I knew this was real progress. Speaking to myself helped me build confidence. It was like training my mouth and mind to work together. I didn't worry about making mistakes or sounding silly. I just spoke. So, if you're alone and don't know how to practice speaking, just start with yourself. Your daily life is full of chances to use English. You don't need a perfect sentence or a big vocabulary. You just need your voice, your curiosity, and a little bit of courage. I also kept a small notebook. Nothing fancy, just a tiny notebook I could carry in my pocket or keep next to my bed. Every day I made it a habit to write 3 simple sentences about my day. They didn't have to be perfect or complicated. For example, I'd write, "Today is sunny. I went to the market. I bought apples." That's it. Just a few lines. But those few lines made a big difference. Writing things down helped me in 2 powerful ways. First, it made new words stick in my memory. When I wrote the word market or apples, I remembered them better because I used them in a sentence that connected to my real life. Second, it helped me feel like I was truly using English, not just learning rules or memorizing vocabulary. I was building sentences about my world, my experiences. Some days I wrote about my feelings. I feel tired. I want to rest. Tomorrow will be better. Other days I wrote about things I saw. A red car passed by. The sky turned gray. It started to rain. These little moments, captured in simple English, made the language feel alive for me. I was no longer just a student. I was a person living in English. And the best part? When I looked back after a few weeks, I could see how much I had improved. My sentences became longer, more natural. I started using words like because, but, or so. I stayed home because it was raining, or I was tired, but I finished my work. It gave me a quiet confidence, knowing that I was growing, sentence by sentence, day by day. So if you don't know where to start, get a notebook. Write 1, 2, or 3 sentences a day. Don't worry about grammar. Just describe your day, your mood, or something you noticed. It's simple, but incredibly powerful. On weekends, I gave myself a little treat. I watched a short movie or an episode of a TV show with English subtitles. It was like mixing learning with entertainment. I didn't pause every few seconds, and I didn't stop to check every word. I just watched and listened, letting the language wash over me like background music. At first, it was a bit difficult. Sometimes characters spoke too fast or used words I didn't know. But I reminded myself, the goal wasn't to understand every single thing. It was to get used to the rhythm, the tone, and the feeling of real English. I chose shows that were fun and easy to follow. One weekend, I watched an episode of a kid's cartoon, and I actually laughed out loud. Another time, I picked a romantic comedy with simple dialogues and everyday expressions. Seeing how words were used in real conversations helped me understand how English works in daily life. How people say, "What's up?" instead of "How are you?" or how they say "I'm in" instead of "I agree." Even if I only understood 50% at first, I kept watching. And something amazing happened. Week by week, my brain started to catch more and more. I recognized phrases I had heard before. I started guessing the meaning of new words from the situation. For example, when a character said, "Come on, hurry up," and they were running late, I didn't need a dictionary. I just got it. Watching without pausing trained me to be okay with not knowing everything. And that's so important. Because in real life, no one speaks slowly and perfectly all the time. We need to understand the message, not every single word. That mindset made me feel more relaxed and more confident. I wasn't just watching TV. I was training my ears, my brain, and even my heart to feel the language. So if you love movies or series, use that love to learn. Choose short videos, turn on the English subtitles, and just enjoy. Don't stress. Progress comes naturally when you show up with curiosity and consistency. So after 30 days of listening, speaking, writing, and watching, something inside me changed. I felt different. Not just in my English skills, but in my mindset. No, I wasn't fluent yet. I still made mistakes, I still forgot words, and sometimes I had to think before I spoke. But that didn't bother me anymore, because I was confident. I wasn't afraid to try. I could understand conversations more easily, respond faster, and express myself without feeling nervous or stuck. For the first time, English didn't feel like a school subject. It felt like a part of my daily life. I could follow short podcasts without subtitles, describe my day in simple sentences, and even think in English when walking alone. And the best part? I had done it all on my own. No teacher, no expensive course, no magic trick. Just me, my phone, a notebook, and a decision to show up every day, even if only for 10 minutes. It wasn't about perfection. It was about progress. I didn't wait for the right time. I didn't wait until I was ready. I simply began, and that made all the difference. Daily practice, even the smallest effort, built a habit, and that habit built confidence. I realized that learning a language isn't something that happens overnight, but it does happen when you give it your time, attention, and heart. So if you're listening to this and wondering if you can do it too, my answer is yes. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to start. The rest will follow. Trust me, I've been there. You can do the same. You really can. Start small, just a few minutes a day. Maybe listen to an English story while making breakfast, say a few sentences to yourself in the mirror, or write about your day in a tiny notebook. The key is consistency. A little bit every day is much better than a lot once in a while. Don't let the fear of mistakes stop you. Mistakes mean you're trying, and that's something to be proud of. Remember, the goal isn't to be perfect. It's to make progress. Focus on using English, not just learning about it. Read out loud. Repeat after native speakers. Play with the language. Make it part of your world. And most importantly, have fun. If it's fun, you'll keep going. And if you keep going, you'll grow faster than you ever imagined. If you found this video helpful, give it a like and leave a comment that says 30 days is enough to let us know you're starting your own journey. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel so you never miss a new lesson. Check out our playlists. They're designed to guide you step by step, just like I did. You've got this. I believe in you. One small step at a time. You'll get there. Bye for now, and remember, English is your superpower. Use it every day.